Class 10th chapter Sources of Energy. In this chapter, we will discuss about conventional sources of energy, improvement in the technology for using conventional sources of energy, non-conventional sources of energy. Firstly, we define conventional sources of energy. When a source of energy cannot be reused after using it once, we call them a conventional source of energy. The conventional source of energy are fixed and harmful to the environment. For example, coal, petroleum, nuclear energy, natural gas. So we need to conserve them and not use excess in the excess. Next we have fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are made from decomposing plants and animals. These fuels are found in Earth's crust and contain carbon and hydrogen, which can be used burned for energy. The fossil fuels are non-renewable sources of energy, so we need to conserve them. Next, the prime sources of power generation are as follows. First has thermal power plants and hydropower plants. First, we define thermal power plants. The plants which use a large amount of fossil fuels which are burnt every day in power stations to heat up water to produce steam, which further runs the turbine to generate electricity. We use these power plants to generate electricity. Next, hydropower plants. Hydropower plants is an electricity producing plant in which the potential energy is being converted into kinetic energy, and the kinetic energy is further converted into mechanical energy with the help of a turbine and motor. These power plants are also used to generate electricity. Improvement in the technology for using conventional source of energy. In this, first we have biomass. Biomass is plant or animal material used as a fuel to produce electricity or heat. Examples are biomass. Examples are wood, energy crops, and waste from forest. Why biomass is considered as an excellent fuel? Biomass is considered as an excellent fuel because it burns without smoke, leaves no residue like ash in wood and charcoal in coal burning. Its heating capacity is high. Then wind energy. A turbine converts the kinetic energy of the wind to useful mechanical energy. This energy could be useful in mechanical form or turn generator turbines and provide electricity. A number of windmills are erected over a large area which is known as wind energy farm. As these are some advantages and disadvantages of wind energy farm. Advantages of wind energy farms. Wind energy is an environment friendly. It is efficient source of renewable energy. It requires no expenses for the production of electricity. As wind energy is renewable energy, so it does not require any money for the production of electricity. Then limitations. Wind energy farms can be established only at those places where wind blows for the greater part of a year. The wind speed should also be higher than 15 km per hour to maintain the required speed of the turbine. Wind energy farms require large areas of land. The initial cost of establishment of the farm is quite high, as the establishment of these farms are very high, so the common people and do not have enough money to establish these types of farms to generate electricity. So these are the limitations of this type of farms. Non-conventional source of energy. Non-conventional source of energy uh, cannot be exhausted easily. That means that they do not finish easily and can be generated at a constant rate for their use over and over again. Furthermore, these energy sources do not pollute the environment and natural surroundings. For example, solar energy and all we discussed in this later as solar energy. It name clarifies about it. Uh, Solar energy is the energy obtained by capturing heat and light from the sun. Energy from the sun is referred to as solar energy. Technology has provided a number of ways to utilize this abundant resource. It is considered a green technology because it does not emit greenhouse gases. Solar energy is abundantly available and has been utilized since long both as electricity and as a source of heat. As it is a non-conventional source of energy, so it does not harm the environment. Solar cell. A solar cell or photovoltaic cell is an electrical device that converts the energy of light directly into electricity. As these uh, solar cells have advantages and disadvantages too. Firstly, I define advantages. The principal advantage associated with solar cell are that they have no moving parts, require little maintenance and work quite satisfactorily without use of any focusing device. The setup in remote and very sparsely inhabited areas in which laying of a power transmission line may be expensive and not commercially viable. It is a very good advantage to the peoples of rural areas because where the transmission line may sometimes may not be possible, so we generate these types of solar panel in these rural areas. Next, disadvantages. Availability of the special grade silicon for making solar cells is limited. As to establish solar panel, we need a special grade silicon which is not easily available. So it is a disadvantage to it, and the entire process of manufacture is still very expensive. So it is also a disadvantage because common people do not afford it. Next, tidal power. Tidal energy. Tidal is Tides is the periodic movement of the ocean waters due to the gravitational force of the moon and the sun. Tides are of two types: high tides, that means the rise of water, and low tides, the fall in the level of water. We have two type of tides, high tides and low tides. High tides signifies the rise of water, and low tides signifies the fall in the level of water. Since it caused due to the sun and the moon's gravitational effect, tidal energy is called renewable energy. As it is renewable energy, so it cannot be exhausted easily. Tidal energy is the energy possessed by the rise and fall of water during high and low tides. The tidal energy can be processed to electricity by building dams across the narrow openings of the sea. Then wave energy. Wave energy is the transport and capture of energy by ocean surface waves. The energy captured is then used for all different kinds of useful work, including electrical generation, water desalination, and pumping of water. Uh, Mostly we used it to generate electricity. As it is the waves, the energy generated by the waves which are on the surface of the ocean. Next, geothermal energy. Molten rocks are formed in the deeper hot region of Earth crust and are pushed upward and trapped in certain regions called hotspots. When underground water comes in contact with the hotspot, steam is generated. Sometimes hot water from that region find outlets at the surface. Such outlets are known as hot springs. The steam trapped in rocks is routed through a pipe to a turbine and used to generate electricity. Nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is the energy produced when one nucleus split into two nuclei and producing enormous amount of energy in the form of heat and light. The process in which one heavy nucleus split into two light nuclei producing large amount of energy and neutrons along with it. As this energy is used to generate electricity, but it has many disadvantages which we discussed as disadvantages of nuclear energy. The storage and disposal of spent or used fuels of the uranium still decaying into harmful subatomic particles. As we store uranium, which continuously decaying some harmful subatomic particles, so it is very difficult to store the nuclear uranium. Improper nuclear waste storage and disposal results in environmental contamination. If the storage of uranium is not proper, then it will contaminate the environment, which is very harmful for us. Next, there is a risk of accidental leakage of nuclear radiation. The high cost of nuclear power plant, it is also very costly. Thank